Hello friends! Today we talk about the growth goals that I have for our garden over the next 5 years. Stay tuned. Alright, this shot here of our garden is from the balcony looking down. The bottom fence is ours, and that perpendicular fence in the back is the neighbor's. So this shot, you can see the solarizing, the plastic that we still got down for the weed killing that we're trying to do, but it'll still give us a good overview for what I want to do today. Back in 2014, this wasn't a garden at all. In fact, there was a spot at the back of our yard along the neighbor's fence that was just for junk from the last owners. There were railroad ties and a ton of leaves and plastic and all sorts of junk that was just thrown back there. I cleaned it out one October with the help of a trailer from one of my neighbors, and I haven't looked back since. So in 2015, I ended up expanding the garden an additional 10 feet towards the, east, towards those lilac bushes. And I brought it out maybe a foot or two, so the garden was 12 feet by 35. And it was a great first year, and I had tilled it, and we were very successful for the most part. This year, 2016, you can see it's twice the size, so it's about 24 by 35. Now, you can begin to see where the raspberry trellis is there. This is going to be, the left 2/5 are going to be perennial fruits, and the right 3/5 are going to be vegetables that I'll be planting annually, potentially at this point. Moving ahead another year, 2017, some big changes. Now, by this time, I'd like it to be a square, a 35 by 35 foot square. That squiggly line around the border, I'm hoping to actually plant, maybe not plant, but dive down a 3-foot border, so some stakes with some permanent wire around it, and probably a little door for me to get in and out, so that'll permanently keep out the rabbits and create this nice sense of establishment. I've also tinkered with the idea of going back to garden beds or raised beds boxes instead of tilling the soil from time and time again. I don't know. I've seen all sorts of different things on YouTube, and I'm still indecisive about what I'd like to do. But either way, that should be the final size of the garden. In 2018, I'd like to start planting some rows of grapevine. That's what those two diagonal blue lines are. I'm not sure what species, but I know there are some that do well in my climate in Zone 5A. I have some friends that grow grapes to decent success. And then the hoops that I have over the garden, the green garden boxes, that's my representation for potentially doing some temporary hoop housing. I'd maybe like to see myself increase my growing time by maybe a month on either end, so with some good plastic hoop houses. We'll see if that'll work. And then lastly, in 2019, we've expanded the garden out significantly. Those circles aren't as far out as I'll actually be in reality. The picture doesn't do it justice, but I'd like to do 2 apple trees and then either a peach or a pear tree in the middle. And that little rectangle is a representation for my hope that maybe we'll do bees. Get a real small apiary device. We've got decent amount of pollinators in our area. I keep the clover and other things to try to entice them into my garden, but I think we can do more. And once it's all said and done, it's going to be a beautiful food oasis that will have more than enough food for my family and friends, and I get to learn how to do all sorts of canning and preserving and dehydrating over the next few years to really make the most out of the food we plant in the garden. That'll be a very rewarding project. Yes, I have big dreams for our garden over the next 5 years. I'd like to see it turned from a grassy desert into this food oasis in the middle of our part of the city. I think it's a much better use of the space. I can't wait to have fruit trees and well-established perennials for endless berries and real tall beans and ripe tomatoes and everything else. So if you've done something like this with your garden planning, please let me know in the comments section below. Otherwise, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I'm the Midwest Man Mountain. Be sure to subscribe. And until next time, bye!